Well, hey friends, welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess. This is A Gingerbread Christmas, and Patches and I decided we wanted to do a craft today using one of Hobby Lobby's kits for the foam houses. So I'm going to hold this card up so you can see what the house looks like when it's completed, and it's a good little guide to do all your houses with. It makes 24 of these. It is for ages 4 and up, and I would suggest, because of the small parts, that you supervise your young children because it can be a choking hazard. This is called Gingerbread Foam Craft Kit. So I'm going to show you the pieces and then we're going to get into making this together. I've already made up some. You've probably seen them on my Christmas tree. I've got one somewhere on here, or a few of them on there, and then I've got some in my kitchen area, and they really do make great little decorations for a gingerbread Christmas. This first piece is the chimney sheet. There's only one sheet of this. This is the roof part and some other decorations for the little gingerbread house, and there will be several sheets of this. And then you'll have several sheets of the doors and more decorations. Plus, you'll have your little gingerbread house, little foam pieces. The only thing I did not like about this kit is you're going to have some sticky showing after you get it put together. But the more you practice, the better you get. So I've got some sheets already started, and we're going to get this going here. So I'm going to get everything laid out so that I can find my pieces. And that way we'll be ready to rock and roll. So I've got all my little gingerbread parts together. I'm going to keep one of my little houses out. And I'll have my diagram there for me to look at. And I'm going to turn that towards you so that we can work on this together. Okay, hopefully you can see everything is laid out. And I've got to find a sheet to start with that has all my pieces in it, because I still have a few pieces on this one that I want to use. But this one has my roof piece. I usually start with that. And it's peel and stick. So this is one of those pieces that they could have done a little bit better, I do believe, on this sheet, so that you could have the sticky part left, the backing left on part of it. But because of the way that they made the kit, it just doesn't work that way. So this piece goes right at the top of my gingerbread house, and I do mean right at the top. Can y'all see that? So it's very, very little of it overlapping onto your gingerbread house. The next piece I like to put on is the door, because that kind of gives me a visual of where everything else needs to go. And it also just peels and sticks. So the door is centered on the front of your piece. And now we have the door. And it's cute just like that. It really is. So the next piece will be the shingles on the house. And they give you 2 of these for each one. I'll show you what it looks like. It's this right here. And they can be a little bit difficult getting out. But once you get used to pulling them, it really is no problem. So I've already got the backing off of both of these. I've got to separate them. And then I'm going to stick it. Hold that for this. I'm going to stick that right here along the edge. And the good thing about this is you can lift it up and you can place it as you need to. So there we are. We've got the shingles on our house. Okay. I like to do this little piece here, this little candy cane piece next on my piece. And it goes right here next to the door. And it's got a rounded end at the on the top, and then the bottom is flat, so you know which way it goes on here. And that goes right next to the door. And the reason I say right next to the door is you've got that big lollipop that's going to fit in there too. So there it is. I've got it on there. And then there's a green counterpart to this. Make sure I had all those out of there before I go to another sheet. And I'm going to grab one of these, and it goes on the opposite side of the door. Same idea. And I try to visualize where it's going, and if I don't get it on there straight, I can always pick it up and I can straighten it out. So this one is a little crooked. And then over time, these will start to dry and that sticky will stay on there forever. So there is that. The next thing will be the lollipops. So let me pull this out of the way. And we have lollipops. These are really interesting pieces because they're one piece like that. And so this is going to go on your house right next to that piece. And I'm going to try to get it on here straight. Just like so. And I'm going to put one on this side as well for balance. And you can use these in several different places in your gingerbread decorating. As a matter of fact, I've got a place I'm thinking about putting some of these. And I thought this would be a perfect day for me to do that. So I didn't get this one all the way at the bottom, but that's okay. It's on there. The next thing I'm going to do is I've got a window. This is your window piece right here. Well, actually, I got to do one other thing before I do the window. And I got to find where it is. It's this little thing that goes over the door. That little strip right there. And I've got to get the paper off of it. I should have brought a trash can over here for all this trash. And so I'm going to put it really close to the door because the picture doesn't give you exactly where it needs to be located. So I'm going to put this on there first. I can get my hands to let go of it. And I'm just right above the door frame. So there it is. And this also gets two of these little green peppermints. And that goes on either side of that bar. So I usually try to put it right beside the bar or as close to it as I possibly can. Let me pull another one off. And you may have extra pieces at the end of this when you get done with that. That would be great to give to the kids as an activity and a piece of blank paper and let them just decorate it. So there it is with those. Now we're going to do our window. So the window isn't exactly centered, so I try to put the heavier part down towards the bottom, and I'm just going to go a little above that green piece that we put on there because we got one more piece that's got to go up here. And I've got to find it. Here it is. It's a bigger peppermint right there. And it's got to go right up here. So like I said, it's not exactly like the picture on the outside, but it is still very, very cute. Okay, the next thing I need to do is I need to get my snow at the bottom of this, which is this strip right here. And that one peeled off without the tape on the back. And we just place that across the bottom and press it in place. So there it is. I'm going to show you the back. See, this has a little tab on the sides that are sticky. And this is sticky. Now we're going to work on the roof. And we're going to take one of our chimneys. Getting that tape off the back is sometimes difficult. Oh, that's right. I don't have to take the tape off this. So where does my chimney go? It goes on this side. So right about there. And it doesn't have to be exactly straight. And then we've got gumdrops across the top of our card. We've got 3 red and 3 green. So I start with one color, get them placed, and then I move to the next color. And this you want to keep that paper on the back because you've got sticky up here at the top. And I'm going to turn this around so I can get that in there. And it just makes it easier. So you really want to leave that paper in place on the back. So I usually put one up here at the top of the roof and then one there, and then I'll put the other one in the middle over here. So now we have the green gumdrops placed. Now we're going to go to our red gumdrops. I've got 3 of them on this card right there. And these are so small to handle, but you want to put it in the middle on this side. So now you have the start of the roof with the gumdrops. And so my next one will be up here at the top, asymmetrical. And then we will do the last gumdrop. And there is our little gingerbread house all completed, folks. Isn't that amazing? I've got a few more that I need to do, but I wanted to show you how easy this craft is and that it is good for just about any age, over the age of 4, younger ages with supervision. Now you can lay this somewhere, and what I would suggest is putting wax paper between them, or parchment. So if it does stick, at least it won't stick to one another. And I would lay a book on these to make sure that they're good and flat before I put them up. But we're going to decorate one of our panels on my armoire in my living room with this using some painter's tape on the back. Painter's tape will not destroy my finish on my furniture, so I can use it on that. And then when I'm done, I just remove the tape and I can put these away for the next year. Just adorable. Here's some content I think you might like. Thank you for visiting our homestead. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hype, and share to help our small channel grow. See you next time for more simple living, frugal tips, and farmyard fun.